And now we have the Roush trucks of Biffle and Kurt Busch. Biffle in the 50 and Busch in the 99, side by side. And here comes Kenny Martin, the 98, trying to blow by both of them.
On board with Greg Biffle. Martin slides in behind him. That's Setzer off to the backside there. He has lost contact. And there is Steve Grissom back into the pit area, and more problems on the right side.
Right front flat this time.
Well, he has had a tough break with the tires since we went back to green flag racing. It has cost him at least one lap, and now maybe two, as the guys come flying by, and he's still parked in pit lane.
Now we see we have a 2-truck breakaway, and we'll see if Greg Biffle in the 50 and Dennis Setzer in the 1 can catch Mike Wallace and Andy Houston.
Well, this is interesting. Wallace is in the Ford. Houston is in the Chevrolet. And they have the largest lead of the day. Coming through 4, Houston drifts a little bit higher. Slower traffic in front of them. They clear it safely.
It looks like that Biffle and Setzer are closing back from the tailgate of Andy Houston. That time by, we'll check the speeds. And yes, Greg Biffle ran 191 miles per hour compared to the leader, Mike Wallace, at 188.
While all this action is going on, take a look at 7th and 8th place. That is Rick Corelli, first truck race back since his horrendous crash at Memphis last year. And right behind him is Randy McDonald. This is a one-race deal in this truck that they're trying to turn into an entire season. So far, doing very well.
Randy McDonald has a great run going in 8th position as he races along with Corelli.
Rick Corelli, his last lap at about 180 miles an hour. They're going around Randy Tolsma. Right behind him, Randy McDonald. His best finish last year was 13th at Homestead, so this would be a big improvement for him. 25 laps to go. Corelli and the Carlin Burners and Control Ford took over that ride after Mike Stefanik drove it to Rookie of the Year honors last year. McDonald, his overall best career finish, 8th, as you saw there back at Flemington several years ago. While those two continue to try and reel in this lead pack, let's go back and set it for you. Mike Wallace is still up front. It's Greg Biffle in 2nd. That's the lap vehicle of Dennis Setzer, the 3rd truck in line, the number 1. And there is Andy Houston in 3rd. 4th place is the 99 of Kurt Busch. Dave, what's going on in the Roush camp? They've got the best numbers out there right now.
We're going to ask the 99 crew chief, that is Matt Chambers. He ran all the way down pit lane to talk to Randy Goss, crew chief of the 50. What did you guys decide to do, if anything?
Well, next side battery score is running really good right now. We're real happy with Kurt Busch. He's a great driver. We're real excited about the whole deal. And we're going to try to work with the 50 and come in together. I'm not going to say when, but we're going to try to work together and come in with them so we can stay together.
For the final pit stop?
Yeah, for the final pit stop.
When do you expect to make that?
Probably within the next 10 or 15 laps.
Okay, as they run side by side, guys, remember Kurt Busch has had a real adventurous weekend so far. He wrecked the truck in practice. They lost a motor in qualifying. They're just happy to be out there still running in the lead pack.
And he's doing very fine right now. Setzer right at the tail end of the lead lap. He wants to stay in front of Mike Wallace and Andy Houston and the other two, the Biffle and Busch trucks that are right behind him. He would get that lap back if a caution flag would come out, put him back on the lead lap.
And there are only 10 trucks on the lead lap, so that would put him in a very competitive position.
Looking on board with Greg Biffle. Boy, going past the slower traffic.
Man, that was so scary when you look out the tailgate of Biffle's truck, Ranger truck.
Coming through the tri-oval again. Let's get Dennis Setzer's view of what's going on as we come through the tri-oval with 23 to go. Uh-oh, Dennis, you're in trouble. There goes Mike Wallace. Here comes Biffle in the 50. Setzer down low. We talked about it several hours ago, Ray, but if you stay down low, it eats up the tires.
Yeah, it eats up the tires, and there are times when it can kill momentum.
Last lap speed's 187 and change. These guys are doing some serious racing.
And we see that Kenny Martin in that 5th place truck has lost a lap, has lost a draft, and running by himself. He's 6-7 miles per hour slower than these trucks hooked up together.
Jack Roush on the stopwatches as always. He's got 2 trucks in very good condition right now as we get to the closing laps. Now, slower traffic, and here comes a freight train. Look out. Get out of the way. That's Neuenberger. He does stay down low, and everybody's going to get by cleanly. We're at Daytona International Speedway. If you've just tuned in, the race leader is the 2nd truck in line there, the number 2 Team ASE Ford. That is Mike Wallace with the Granger Ford. Greg Biffle right behind him. This has been the kind of racing that we've had all afternoon, except for the 2-hour and 24-minute red flag period. We've had 27 lead changes amongst 12 total drivers, and now we can tell you that Mike Wallace has led 41 of the 79 laps. That is enough to clinch him the Gatorade money for leading the most laps. Nobody can come close to touching him.
This year it has changed. Gatorade will pay their money for the vehicle that leads the most laps in the NASCAR Touring Series and not at the halfway.
On board with Dennis Setzer
as he tries to get back to the front in case that caution flag should come out, trying to get back in the lead lap. And this is right beside the leader and just blows by Mike Wallace.
He's got a little help. There's his drafting buddy, Andy Houston. It's a Dodge and Chevy combo, but right now Houston needs all the help he can get because he's battling 3 Fords.
That Dodge and Chevy seem to work really well together. That could play a part at the end, even if they decide that they can fit together. That Mopar might help that Chevy.
Amy, what's the latest going on in the strategy camp?
Well, I've been trying to keep my line of communication open with Tim Cahoot. I jumped in to ask him what kind of strategy. Just about that time, the Ultra Bad Boys are setting up for a pit stop. Look within the next 3 laps to see Mike Wallace come down for right side tires. Just as I jumped out from talking to Tim Cahoot, here came Rick Red, who also is going to pit with the 2 truck and try to hook up here at the end.
Well, Amy, a yellow has just been shown at the starter's position, so we are going to have our 6th caution of the day, and this will change the strategy a lot, BP.
Rich Woodland just blew going down in turn 1. Now then, I guess the 1 vehicle of Setzer is racing Mike Wallace back to the line to try to get that lap back. Can Mike Wallace keep him back there?
NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series rules allow that if you are within contact of the leader, you can get a lap back. Otherwise, there is no racing back to the stripe, but it doesn't look like Wallace is going to be a gentleman about it at all. He's going to keep him a lap down.
He realizes that Dennis Setzer is a very competitive truck, and if he can keep him a lap down, that's 2.5 miles that he has to make up. So that was good strategy on Mike Wallace's part.
There's only 8 trucks on the lead lap, and when it comes down to that last 10 laps, it would be the single file rule, and boy, everybody be there, and so it would be 9, and Setzer's right. I mean, he is a player, so strategy plays out for Mike Wallace as he manages to keep Dennis Setzer 1 lap down and maintain the race lead. Ford Pace truck coming out to pick up the field. Mike Wallace.
We'll probably see everybody pit now.
Yeah, this is going to take the pit crew's strategy out of it as far as how much time to spend putting the fuel in, because they'll have plenty of time. But now, which do? You can do 2 tires only. Obviously, I would think everybody be leaning towards the rights.
I would say that they're going to come, they're going to put fuel, and they're going to put tires on. With only that many trucks on the lead lap, they're definitely going to want to put some fresh rubber on there.
We're at Daytona International Speedway. Marty Reed along with Ray Evernham, Benny Parsons, Amy East, and Dave Burns. The inaugural running of the Daytona 250. And we're under caution for the 6th time today.
Now, Andy Houston did not change tires the last caution flag. And the 3 trucks you're seeing, the 2 trucks of Wallace and Biffle and Kurt Busch, they all changed 4 tires. Now then, maybe the 250-99 fuel only, Ray?
Oh, Benny, I don't think so. I think with only, what have we got, 8 trucks on the lead lap, I believe that they'll come and put 2 right side tires on and fuel unless they've used up their quota of tires. Right now, you'd want to get some cool tires on that thing. Going to have about probably 16 laps to go to the end.